Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Coming at you from the Dynamite House again. When was this built? Do you know?
A long time ago.
Like probably the 1920s?
It's been a minute.
I'm not going to go in there. You'd die. The roof's falling in. The floors. No way, no. Happy?
Nah.
Smells in there. Okay, so today we have another list video because these are fun to make. I think you guys enjoy them. And if you don't, these are fun to make, so we're going to make them. So today we're talking about 10 Wharncliffe and Sheepsfoot blades. And before we get into that, we kind of got to talk. Did you have to recount them?
I had to recount, make sure we roll.
Did you not trust me?
No, I don't trust you.
You're ruining my vibe. Okay, so so first we have to talk about Sheepsfoot versus Wharncliffe. Basically, if it has a straight edge and a point, Wharncliffe. Straight edge and a hump, Sheepsfoot. However, my favorite Sheepsfoot blades are the ones that have a little bit of belly. So for me,
A little bit of both.
that's kind of what I like. I like the Sheepsfoot with a little bit of belly.
Ooh,
so let's go ahead and who should start? Let's see here.
fine.
I'll start.
Okay. Go.
So to start off, I'm going to show what I think is the perfect Sheepsfoot. And that is this Bradford Guardian 3.
Beautiful knife.
Beautiful, beautiful knife. These are made in the USA. Probably the most perfect EDC fixed blade you can get. And you can get these in a bunch of different blade shapes, but the Sheepsfoot is my favorite. And I think it's just the most useful. As you can see, we have a little bit of belly. It's rounded, but this is, to me, this is the best Sheepsfoot blade.
Yeah, it's a very nice knife. It's not skinny, so it fits in your hand perfectly. Like you said, it's a very beautiful knife, and it's really good for work, because, I mean, like you said, you can get those good cuts in. It's comfortable. It comes with a very high quality leather sheath.
Nice leather sheath.
And it feels nice and sturdy, high quality. It's just a very nice looking knife. I mean, come on now, look at that.
Yeah. What I love about it is this style of Sheepsfoot blade allows you to get those utility cuts and stuff, but it also, like, that'd be a great skinning knife.
Oh, yeah, and a good shaving knife. Later.
Censored. But yeah, fantastic little knife, and for me,
very good for skinning too, like you said.
That's my favorite Sheepsfoot blade shape.
And you can even choke up on it quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
If you want to get down there and actually get with it.
Get with it.
Get jiggy with it.
Get jiggy with it. Get in with the kids.
Very nice knife.
Very nice.
Old man. Alright, and then mine, we're going to show the CJRB, you say Miley?
Miley.
Tiny little knife, only about 2 fingers.
To adjust the camera out of the sun. There we go.
It's a nice little knife for being the size. I mean, if it had a blacked out blade,
there's a bigger version of it if you're, you know,
preference. I mean, it has a
insecure.
It has a beautiful blade shape. I mean, everyone loves all of these.
Oh yeah, the Miley. I don't think I've met anyone who doesn't like the Miley.
For being small, it is very surprisingly comfortable for being the size that it is.
One of my absolutely favorite backup knives.
Like a 5th pocket carry.
Exactly.
And if it had a blacked out blade, perfect.
They do have some blacked out blade versions.
Ooh, but if this one did.
If that one did. In fact, I think they have a. I can't think of all the versions right now, but yeah, really cool little knife. You can even choke up here a little bit if you want to. Great for your utility cuts, and yeah, it's got like a 2.5-inch blade, and it makes the most out of what it's got. So
very, very nice.
Really cool.
Very nice.
Again, one of those Sheepsfoot that has a little bit of belly.
And it's a front flipper. We can't forget that. Probably the only one in our lineup today, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Isn't it? Very nice little knife.
Alrighty, next up. Let's show off a Wharncliffe. This is the Rough Rider Reserve Rhino Tow. I have a review of this knife.
Does it make it a Wharncliffe if it's a Rhino Tow? Or does it make it a Rhino Tow blade?
We're going to ignore that he's here for now. But perfectly straight edge, nice and pokey, fantastic utility cutter. And this is a big old slip joint. Like, that is
a chunk.
That is a hand-filling grip. Very nice walk and talk. I mean, listen to that snap. That is
snappy.
Really, really cool knife. I do have a review on this, if I didn't already say.
Gorgeous little knife. And like I said, it's a small knife, but it doesn't feel cheap at all.
No, and these Rough Rider Reserves, those are D2 blades, by the way. Oh, I don't know if we mentioned, that Bradford was N690, but you can get them in a bunch of steels. The CJRB was AR RPM 9. These are D2. You can get these about $50.
It looks a little goofy, but it is very functional, and it is a very nice knife. It's comfortable and very affectionate. What is it?
Effective?
That's the one.
Were you going to say affectionate?
I'm affectionate with this knife.
He's going to make love to a knife, guys.
So,
over there.
And the other dynamite shed. Never mind.
Let sparks fly, huh?
Okay, anyway.
Moving on.
Yeah,
Come on, Austin.
Here we have the CRKT Raikiri.
However you say it.
Whatever. Very unique knife. It's strange, but it's cool in its own right. I mean, it has this... I mean, look at that kind of...
This is like a perfect Wharncliffe example.
It's a very nice looking knife. It has a straight edge. It has a nice little point that comes to it. Almost looks like it has like weird little knuckles.
And the most unique feature is that it has CRKT's field strip technology. Meaning you can take this knife apart without any tools.
Nifty.
I showed Austin this knife this morning, and he was absolutely smitten.
Yeah, I think they should have more knives like this because no tools required. Everyone needs a knife that you don't have to take apart.
I'll tell you who was less impressed, and this is actually an interesting conversation. So my dad, I showed this to my dad, and he loved the field strip technology. He was thinking, you know, this would be great for when I'm doing like necropsies or stuff, or skinning an animal, that you can just take apart your folder and clean it like that. I was like, well, yeah, that's kind of the idea. But he hated the blade shape. My dad hates Wharncliffes. And so what I think is interesting is I think the Wharncliffe is becoming a lot more popular nowadays, because nowadays people are looking for knives that are good at those utility cuts, package opening.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like my dad likes things that more like the sheepsfoot I was talking about, where you get that slicing power.
Yeah,
and that's something you don't get with the Wharncliffe.
More of a slice and not a utility purpose. But a very nice knife, unique, and frankly, I think they should have more that have the field strip capabilities.
And big.
Yeah, it is
like this is a big knife.
It could be a little more comfortable, but yeah, it's not bad.
It's got some weird curves. The pocket clip's a little bit pokey at times, but I do like that the jimping up here allows you to like choke up and get your thumb down there.
And I wish they had this to where it was more
accessible,
because it really isn't when you have it closed.
Yeah,
I can't squeeze your finger in that well.
I can just barely get it.
But you have to concentrate. It's not just like second nature to boop. It's so much easier to just use the...
And the action for running on plastic washers is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
it's probably not the best of the folding knives we have out here today.
No,
but it's good. It's good. So really interesting knife, aluminum and 4116 steel, I believe. Which but that's kind of what you get with CRKT.
Yeah.
So
still a nice knife, very unique, and yeah,
really cool. That field strip technology is awesome.
Need more of that.
Next, we're going to look at another sheepsfoot that has kind of the blade shape I like, and that is the Best Tech Penguin. And yeah, this knife, you get the best of basically everything. Yeah, you can do your utility cuts,
slicing.
You can do your slices.
Comfortable.
It's super comfortable. Just fantastic knife. You can get these black. you get blacked out versions of these now.
I know, those are just cool. Yeah. But the Penguin is a very nice knife, and especially like when your flipper tab, it's not like super aggressive and it's not sticking out straight, which I like. It's nice and like soft, and then it's nice and comfortable. You can choke up on it. Like you're saying, it's good for your slicing and for utility cuts. Oh no, it's a very good knife. Best Tech at it again.
Yeah,
always make good knives.
This knife's a classic. This is a knife that if you don't have one, you should.
I know, I need to get one. I'm going to get me a cooler one that's not blue.
The blue ones are the best. What are you going to get? The orange? With the black blade?
Ew. Ew. That's gross. No, I need a black blade, though. I don't care what color the handle is.
I think they've got a green one with the black bolster and the black blade. So.
Ew.
All
right, my turn. So here we have the CJRB Crag.
This is a cool knife.
Is a cool knife.
And if you haven't noticed, this is the recoil lock version.
which is a really good fidget knife.
You know, CJRB's kind of stopped at the recoil lock. I don't know why. Like, I think it's a pretty fun lock.
Don't you have the same one, but yours has the...
I have the same one, but mine has the slippery carbon fiber, and it kind of sucks.
I like mine because it's not slippery. It holds real well in the hand.
Yeah, the recoil lock with the slippery carbon fiber is kind of no bueno, but...
Well, this has a really gorgeous looking sheep's foot.
That cleavery sheep's
And
footy.
it's like this one, like we were mentioning with Tontos. I mean, it has nice lines on it that are super defined, and
yeah, the swedges. And...
oof. It's just a gorgeous knife.
It is a really cool knife. Yeah, that recoil lock is fun.
Oh yeah,
it really
perfect
is.
fidget knife.
But this is a great work knife. I mean, you can choke up here, and like
do some work.
Even with mine that's slippery, the ergonomic lines on this are good enough that I feel like, you know, you grab this and you're just ready to go to town, buddy. You're just ready to get some work done. And I mean, D2 steel, these are pretty affordable. These are like 35 bucks,
they're only like
50
around
bucks,
30 bucks, depending on where you go, I guess.
Yeah, depending on where you go. And I think the recoil lock versions are a little bit more expensive, but
it's worth it because they're so much more fun to play with.
It is, and especially this one has a reversible clip, so it's fully ambidextrous. But yeah, I like CJRB a lot. You got the pivot color, which is cool. Just very unique knife. Really interesting. Really good.
Gorgeous knife.
And CJRB is actually moving all of their knives from D2 to AR RPM 9, which is really, really cool.
That'd be really nice.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That'd be really cool.
And that knife is slicey, but it also has fairly thick blade stock.
Yeah, it's relatively thick, but it comes down to a very fine edge.
And that's because the blade is so broad, so they had enough time
you have enough room to actually get that nice thin edge for your utility cuts.
Exactly.
When you actually work in order, as you can tell.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Really good profile. Alrighty.
Alright.
Next off, I'm going to show probably one of the most popular knives in the world right now. The Demco 80-20.5. This one is the shark's foot. He calls it a shark's foot. It's a sheep's foot blade. And as you can see, mine is fully serrated. I really need to get one of the Knife Center has these with 3V steel now.
Ooh.
This one is Austin A. And yeah, I'm going to get one of the ones that's not fully serrated with 3V. But really cool knife. Great blade shape, especially. I mean, it's just very classic sheep's foot.
Even if it's still with its serrations that it has, you still have that little bit of room right there.
Oh yeah.
For your perfect utility cuts and opening boxes.
Exactly.
But this one is good for like cutting rope.
Rope is fantastic.
So this is a good work knife if you're working like kind of like what we do.
Exactly.
Like whether you're on a ranch doing some kind of road work or any kind of construction. You know, it's a really good knife. So. And
of course it's got the shark lock, which is everyone's favorite fidget toy now.
I don't think I ever actually played with one.
No, this is actually his first time handling a Demco 20.5. What do you think, huh?
I could play with this a lot. This feels a lot. This like a new fidget knife, just like a Crag.
Yeah,
I played this one for a while too.
But the shark lock, designed by the same guy that designed the triad lock, and he says it is as strong or stronger than the triad lock.
Really?
So yeah,
it's super comfortable.
It is.
For being thin. It's a thin knife, but it's comfortable, and it just looks super aggressive, even though it's mostly saw teeth. Which
I must say, I have a whole video about carrying this knife and what I thought about EDCing full serrations. I was pleasantly surprised. It was not as annoying as I thought it would be.
Well, because when we were growing up, we didn't care much for saw teeth.
No, and I still hate partially serrated knives. I think if you're going to have serrations on your knife, you need to go all the way or none. Exactly. Yes. So, yeah, really cool little knife. Very, very nice and fidgety. And everyone's already said enough about this knife. We can move on.
Still, best knife, I think. I don't have mine, unfortunately, but...
He had to borrow mine.
The Chunk from Camillus. Mine is better than this one. Mine's actually broken in. It's not stiff like an old person.
Well, it's because he actually carries his. I keep mine around as kind of a joke. But if you'll remember a year ago now? Almost? We did the cheap knife Olympics, and we had the, he bought a Camillus Chunk.
With the solid blacked out blade.
So much more attractive than a mirror finish.
Yeah, this mirror finish is kind of annoying sometimes.
Because it's, hello, there you are.
It's okay.
And that knife, we threw it at trees, we batoned with it, and it held up perfectly. And then he took it, and it's his work knife.
Yep, I take it every day to work, still.
And he works construction, road work, things like that.
Yep, and all it has is maybe a few scuffs that are in the paint and a little bit on the plastic handle. That's about it. But it's still tight, and it's still centered and everything. It's still a good knife.
$14 for these. 420 steel, plastic. You get ball bearings in the pivot, but...
Man, you get the typical awesome pocket clip.
With the sword in it.
You can't go wrong with the Camillus pocket clip.
It looks awesome.
I mean, if they made them a little... If they were countersunk.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be perfect. It'd be like the best pocket clip.
But, you know, it definitely is a really, really cool knife. And yeah, mine is a little stiff because I don't carry mine as much as he's carried his. But it is a knife that is probably the most surprising knife I've ever done. And one day we're going to get him to have his here on the channel.
Next time I come back, I'll make sure to bring it. I brought it with me, but I forgot it at the house. It needed some work done to it.
This is why your mom doesn't love you.
This is my dad coolers.
Anyways, fantastic knife, great sheepsfoot blade.
Definitely recommend this. Very good for work. I mean, you can choke up on it real well. It's good for slicing. It's good for utilities. It's an all-around good little knife, especially for the price. It's perfect.
So if you want to buy one, you should. If you have questions about it, he's the guy to ask because he carries one all the time.
It's a great knife. Good fidget knife too. When you break them in, it's actually a really great fidget knife. I play with mine sometimes at work when there's nothing to do.
I was over at his place and he had it out, and I was fidgeting with it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so smooth, and I thought it was going to be loose. So I flipped it open and I checked the blade.
It's smoother than
solid. It was insane.
Like it's I dare say about smoother than Penguin.
You know what? It might be
because mine fall close.
Yeah, his is completely dropped shut. It's ridiculous.
It's a great knife. Highly recommend Camillus Chunk.
All right, so for our last Wharncliffe or sheepsfoot blade, I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat.
Are you?
I am. This is the Rough Rider Reserve Swell Center Whittler. And the reason this is kind of a cheat is because the main blade is a spear point. This is my favorite slip joint ever. But,
cheater.
But, look at this. You get a Wharncliffe blade on there, buddy.
That's one of the coolest Wharncliffes I've seen.
It's a really cool little Wharncliffe.
For being so small.
And so, D2 steel, micarta. I love the Rough Rider Reserve lines.
Rough Rider is a good knife in general.
If you want to get into slip joints, they are a great way to go.
Yeah. And this is all like our parents and grandparents carry our slip joints.
Oh, yeah.
Old timers, charades, case. Yep. Case is a big one that's around here. That's what they mostly carry is case.
Oh, yeah. Everyone carries a case.
That was the high end for us when we were younger, was case.
I remember
Imagine that now.
Going into hardware stores and stuff and just going and just staring at the case display case.
Used to want the John Deere case. They were yellow and green.
And then...
It's a very nice little knife.
Great. Yeah, great little Wharncliffe.
Very cool. Very nice little knife. Gotta love it.
All right. Shall you present the last one?
Sure. Since he cheated, I might as well cheat. This is a whopper. This is mine. Sheepsfoot knife. Yeah, since he decided to cheat, I thought I'd bring out
a cutlass.
A nice little cutlass, you know. You can't go wrong with something this size.
I mean, that's technically a sheepsfoot, right?
Technically. I mean, but talk about, that's a knife. I mean, it's not like some kind of fancy brand. It's made by Mossy Oak. But it's a nice knife. It has the little belly. It has the nice little cut to it. It's a nice knife. I mean, and I paid like $10 for it. So
it's here as a meme.
Yes.
Come on, guys. It's here as a meme.
But it is comfortable. I will tell you that.
The granddaddy of all sheepsfoots.
Gorgeous knife.
We're dumb. And that's it. There's 10 unique sheepsfoot and stuff. Wharncliffes
and stuff.
So, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment below, and subscribe. I've been Gideon.
I've been Austin.
See you in the next one.
Peace.